talking now. We'll go on to demos and presentation. I want to hand over to Yee, who will talk about PyFlyte Register and the like.
Sure. I will share my screen. Everyone can see this, right? Sure.
Yep.
So this is a quick little presentation, just one slide. So I'm assuming everyone here is familiar with the PyFlyte command. This is the Python command that will do the parsing of user code and compiling them effectively into the flight entities that we all know and love. There are two commands that you're probably familiar with, one subcommands. One is package. This operates on your entire repo and produces the like a flight TGZ file that flightctl can then use to ship off to admin. So it's kind of like a two-step process and is meant for basically like pretty like large full repos of flight workflows. And we recently introduced a command called run that is starting our kind of attempt or journey on bridging the gap between a more iterative experience versus like a production workflow GitOps type experience. So it only handles single files. Unlike package, it does use the network connection to talk directly to admin. And we added some more better naming conventions. And we personally internally have found it very useful because it kind of combines all the steps into one thing. Like you just run one command and then you get a little link and you can see it immediately. So it's super helpful for us internally for testing, and it's super helpful if you're just starting out. So we wanted to combine those two concepts into a new thing called register. This will work on, again, like package on the entire repo, but like run, it will also handle the network. It has the same naming conventions, and then it also does fast register by default. The non-fast version of it is coming. And as always, you can still rely on custom images. Yeah, so just very quick demo on this. So you'll see we're in the basics part of the cookbook examples. You can just give it a couple files, or you can give it an entire folder and specify all the arguments that you typically would specify on flight CTL, like the runtime parameters effectively. There's a couple things like currently that produces this thing, which we should probably clean up. This is the fast register zip. But then you will see that we should have registered the new workflow and all the subsequent tasks in whatever files or folders that you specified on the command line. And it names it with the full. It does the same thing as run. It walks up the tree to find the first folder that doesn't have an init file. So this doesn't work if you use namespace packages. But so this gets the name expanded. Yeah, that's it. Any questions?
Hey, I had one question. So what happens if now with register, does it also handle the case where you have multi-file?
Yes.
Like you showed an example where you added folders.py or files.py. What if that files.py has a dependency on some other Python files? Does it automatically discover that?
Yes, everything should get zipped up.
Okay, fantastic.
Assuming there are some limitations in it. Everything gets zipped up if it's under the same root directory. It does not traverse your entire set packages, obviously.
Yeah. And what are the goals for documenting this and sharing this in general in our
that will be documented.
Okay, cool.